What's up guys, Roman from RNS Entertainment here with another episode of Comic History, the weekly series where we go over the iconic origins and storylines for all sorts of comic characters and series. In this episode we're going to be talking about the origin of Young Justice, a team of young superheroes inspired by their predecessors, the Teen Titans, but at the same time are very different. Whereas the Teen Titans were all sidekicks struggling with their identities and dealing with large-scale serious issues alongside the character drama they were known for, Young Justice is comprised of younger age kids who, for the most part, aren't active sidekicks and are more focused on having fun and cementing their places in the world. If you're a fan of the Young Justice animated series, stay tuned till the end because we're going to discuss the similarities and differences between the comic and the show. Young Justice forms when the current Robin, Tim Drake, Kon-El aka Superboy, the half-clone of Superman, and Bart Allen aka Impulse, a time-displaced speedster grandson of Barry Allen, all meet up and decide to join forces and form a new superhero team. The first issue opens up with the three of them camped out in an abandoned ex-JLA headquarters after trading stories and getting to know each other to work better as a team. And Impulse says that yeah, the idea of a team is all well and good, but they need some action. Meanwhile, at a nearby archaeological dig site, a team led by Professor Nina Dowd is uncovering what appears to be an alien spacecraft that landed on Earth thousands of years ago. They uncover a wheel and tire made out of some unknown material, and when Nina reaches in to touch it, it sets off a huge explosion. Back at the headquarters, Robin says that it's too early in their team's formation to be complaining about inaction, but Superboy says the world's got a ton of options for a guy like him, leaning up against what they all assume to be a statue of Red Tornado. Robin tries to take monitor duty, and Impulse, living up to his name, impulsively decides the HQ would look better with a new paint job, spray painting a crude drawing of themselves on the wall and some anti-Hansen graffiti. And if you don't remember who Hansen is, count yourself lucky. Superboy manages to deflect the paint. Robin isn't so lucky, getting covered in paint while saying they're borrowing this place from the Justice League and can't go trashing it on their first night there. How can they be a team if they don't respect other teams? Superboy and Impulse say that maybe they shouldn't be a team then. None of them have much in common, and at that moment while Impulse is surfing on Red Tornado, he finally speaks up, telling them that in the Freudian psychoanalytic sense, they fit together. Impulse, because he was rapidly aged and taught entirely through video games, represents the id, pure instinct and reaction with no thought given before or after. Superboy, being a clone that was fed developmental knowledge but never experienced it firsthand, is the ego, capable of making basic judgment and morality calls. And Robin, having trained under Batman along with having a fairly normal childhood, is the superego and has the strongest sense of morality and justice, which makes him the natural leader. Superboy says that he should be the leader, and Robin recognizes Red Tornado and asks him why he's there, and Tornado tells him that he had withdrawn into himself after losing what was left of his humanity, but that in the last 5 minutes the boys had aggravated him enough to make him think there's something human left inside him. At that moment, Impulse notices reports on the monitors about the archaeological dig, and the team heads out with Red Tornado in tow. On the scene, two men, Fight and Mad, are keeping back the crowds and claiming to be part of a multinational task force, but Impulse speeds past to see what's going on in the crater. He finds a crystal cocoon, and Fight fires his gun at Impulse, but Superboy blocks the bullet and lifts him off the ground, when Impulse decides to stick his head into the cocoon. The cocoon explodes, but Impulse avoids the blast, with the smoke clearing to reveal that the professor leading the dig had been transformed by New Genesis technology into Mighty Endowed, a nonsensical joke of a villain with the powers of being mightily endowed. Too top-heavy to stand, Nina collapses, and Robin tells the authorities on the scene to let them investigate the alien technology. And one of the reporters says, "You can trust them, they're the Teen Titans." And Superboy's like, "No, we're not." The reporter gets it wrong again and calls them the Young Justice League of America, and Impulse says that they are young, but just them, not part of the JLA, and the name Young Justice is formed out of a miscommunication. Down in the crater, Superboy uses his tactile telekinesis, which he can't seem to stop talking about, to lift the vehicle out of the ground, calling dibs and naming it the Super Cycle. Robin muses over why the vehicle would transform the professor like that, and Superboy says, "Booby trap?" And the pun makes Robin drop his head down, hitting the cycle and inadvertently activating it. It pulls Robin into the seat and holds him in, forcing the other two to just hold on as the cycle launches into the air. And the first issue wraps up with the team panicking as it flies uncontrollably into the atmosphere, except for Impulse, who is enjoying the hell out of the ride. And that is the modest origin of Young Justice, a fun and light young superhero team that offers a similar idea to the Teen Titans, but a very different experience. Flirting with the fourth wall and often being very funny, the dialogue flows well, and the pacing of each issue is continually interesting. Along with adding in a number of different characters and expanding on trying to find Young Justice's place place as a superhero team in the DC universe, Young Justice is a fun book and definitely worth reading. With that, you can probably see a lot of the main differences between Young Justice the comic and Young Justice the animated series. Personally, I like both. They're both really good in very different ways. Young Justice the animated series was a lot like the Teen Titans animated series, in that it dealt with some surprisingly dark and adult concepts for the age range it was intended for, and had compelling drama and character building moments mixed with large-scale superhero battles. Young Justice the comic is meant to be fun, and it is. It's more of a comedy book than an action book, though it has a lot of both. So I hope you guys enjoyed the origin of Young Justice. I am going to be doing more Young Justice and Titan storylines on here, along with a number of other great comics. So if you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and check out the comic history playlist on the channel, where you can find every episode of comic history, including the epic Titans Young Justice crossover event. If there's a storyline, character, or origin you'd like to see an episode of comic history on, go check out our Patreon and donate at patreon.com/rnsentertainment. One of the donation rewards is to commission any story you want, both helping the channel grow and getting content specifically for you. Make sure to follow me on Twitter at Roman_RNS, like and follow us on Facebook, subscribe to our gaming channel, RNS Gaming, and I'll see you guys next time.
Aggressive.